Hey, it's a Helmet Collector here, and today's video we're taking a look at the 2-panel death card of Peter Atzenbeck. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So going from the top here. In God's peace, the one who fell on the field of honor rests far away from home. Peter Atzenbeck from Freiling, Oberjager in the Gebirgsjager Regiment, bearer of the Infantry Assault Badge and the Wound Badge, who died on March 14th, 1944, in the performance of military duty on the battlefields of Russia for his fatherland at the age of 33. He rests in Russian soil west of Snigirewka. Now, I was not able to find a casualty record for Peter. However, according to Volksbund, he was born on May 2nd, 1911 in Freising, and was killed at Oktyabrysky Nikolayev. Probably butchered that. Now, I could not find Oktyabrysky on a map, and I was having trouble finding Snigirewka as well. So I've been researching a lot of Gebirgs cards recently. I bought a lot at an auction of like 50 cards a couple years ago that I'm finally getting to, and like 30 or 40 of them were Gebirgsjager cards. And as a result, I've also tried to pick up a few Gebirgs unit histories. But basically, I've become a bit more familiarized with the Gebirgs divisions, where they're located. So because of that, I was thinking of Snigirewka. It sounds like it's somewhere in Ukraine, probably. There are a couple places like Snigirewka, which I found during my research, that's in south-central Ukraine. So going off that, I was thinking what units would have been operating in that area. 3rd Gebirgs Division came to mind. And so I pulled out their unit history, which is Odyssey Einer Gebirgs Division. Now, looking at the back here, when we get into March of 1944, on page 504, I notice there's a reference to the village of Sergeyevka. Now, Sergeyevka and Snigirewka are pretty close, so I'm wondering if that's correct. But translating that page here, we get the Soviet-Russian 23rd Tank Corps, after losing 32 tanks, some of which were destroyed at close range by the Gebirgs batteries of the 112th Gebirgs Artillery Regiment, and in close combat by the 83rd Gebirgs Pioneer Battalion, which only had 40 men left, deployed another 36 tanks. The 3rd had held the frontier between Malevka, Novosergeyevka, and Seleny Yar for 2 days and shielded the Corps. But according to the judgment of the AOK-6, the overall situation called for a quick decision. It could not stay like this. Soviet forces had already crushed the German bridgehead at Provolone and prevented the 97th Jaeger Division from crossing the river. The 3rd Gebirgs Division received the order to break out to the southwest on the night of March 14th, like all the other divisions and corps south of the Shirokoye Novye Bug line. Fortunately for these troops, Malinovsky had hesitated to have his mechanized units followed by infantry to the south. His 46th Army was aiming at the lower reaches of the Bug between Novaye, Odessa, and Trotskoye. The 6th Army thus had considerable enemy forces 60 kilometers deep in its rear, but initially it did not have an easy time on the Ingel, but at least it was a little easier. After breaking through the Russian lines on the railway embankment, after heavy fighting between the pack and assault guns of Panzerjägerabteilung 95 and packs of T-34s, the vanguard, led by the commander of the 138th Gebirgsjager Regiment, Count von der Goltz, turned to the southwest following his order, direction of march, the moon. That night, Goltz was so badly wounded that he died in the Odessa hospital after being transported away. Crossing the river was difficult. The bridge at Provolone was in Russian hands. The 97th were still trying to take possession of it. Further south, the 79th Infantry Division was fighting for a crossing. Russian tank and cavalry units were constantly attacking the moving pockets of the German divisions. There was hardly anything left of the 16th Panzer Grenadier, 23rd Panzer, and 15th Infantry Divisions, and the 335th faced a bitter fate. So, while I can't say with 100% certainty that Peter was with the 3rd Gebirgs Division, it seems like circumstantially that might be the case. I'd be curious what you guys think down below. It seems like they were involved in some very heavy fighting, so it certainly lines up with his time of death there. Now, moving to the bottom of the card, to say goodbye, I gave you my hand. How my heart hurt. You went away to the distant land. I asked if I would see you again, and now it's hard to believe that you're never coming back. You would have to give up your life so young. All our happiness is destroyed. Dear Peter, rest in peace forever, mourned by your loved ones. Lord, grant eternal rest to the heroic fighter. And then on the back here we have a nice picture of Peter. Peter Atzenbeck fell on 14th March 1944. So yeah, overall, pretty interesting card. Even if Peter wasn't part of the 3rd Gebirgs Division, I think that, excerpt that we have there from, the area that he was killed down there in Ukraine just shows how vicious that fighting was, regardless of what unit Peter might have been in. So overall, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you. Thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I'll see you all again very soon.